Since a century ago, some Malawians have moved from Malawi to the United Kingdom. Malawi is a country that is in the southern part of Africa. This movement of people from Malawi to the United Kingdom has been more influenced by the history of the country, since Malawi was a colony of Britain from 1891 up to 1964. Some of the people that have moved to the UK have settled in the northwest city of Manchester. As the saying goes, east or west, home is best. Most of these people have continued with their cultural practices that they brought from Malawi.
Who's the oldest? I'll let you go first.
Okay. Hi, my name is Joshua Chisambos. I am 24 years old. I live with my mom and my sister. I work at a company called Car Finance 24/7, so I help people get finance on their cars, and I love life.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. That's me. Gone.
I'm Blandina Chisambos. I'm 22 years old. I have now left my job, so I'm doing full-time photography.
Come on now.
Come on now.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, what else to say?
Age. So your age already.
22.
Yeah. That's it really.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Alright, what's my connection? My connection to Malawi is my mom's born in Malawi. I was born in Malawi, but we lived most of our life here, I'd say. I've got family in Malawi, and that's about it really.
Both born in Malawi. And then I came when I was 4, Josh came when he was 6. Grandparents, definitely. Like the family that we haven't seen. Like our cousins that we know are there, but we've just never seen them. That's fun.
I agree with that. Same for that. I'll say mostly family is the most important, and the Fanta, because I really like the Fanta.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I'll probably say that's what I'm looking forward to most. Those two things. No chance. No. See,
No,
I'm
thank
not.
you.
Nah,
Why not?
no chance.
The mindset of certain individuals, no. I've lived a more liberal, especially as a female, I've lived a more liberal life. For a man to be saying, no, you can't wear this, or why do you do this? You need to be at home. Nope.
Nah, you could call me. Maybe I'm ignorant, but for me, for the same, I'm like, no chance. From what I've seen, and anyway,
I've
the
heard.
mindsets, I'm like, nah, it's backwards. In my opinion, I think it's backwards.
There's
Complete like
certain things.
sort of things, yeah. Just like simple things like this, like maybe I'm better, but I remember simple things like this. Like I remember when I lost my passport, and I needed to get a new passport. It's not rocket science. It's not something difficult to sort out. But I remember the Malawian embassy, not firing shots or anything, but they made it longer than it had to be for me to get it. I remember I rang the embassy and there's no lady there to sort it out. They're like, she's on holiday, and I was like, so when's she coming back? Nobody
They
could
don't
answer that
know.
question. Like, we don't know. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know? Stuff like that. And then I remember when it came, my passport came back. Nobody
did.
told me that it had arrived. And then then on top of that, when I found out they had arrived, I asked them to send it to me. They couldn't send it to me because they ran out of stationery. That's ridiculous. Just stuff like that. So I thought, nah, man. So it's little things like that in the terms of the mindsets of the people. Maybe that's not everybody. From what I've seen, the mindsets of my experience, mindsets of the people backwards. And yeah, man, that's not the energy I want to move into, to be honest.
I think the energy, because the energy with African weddings and like Western weddings is different. You have more, you're more excited and there's more dancing and it's more celebratory. But Western, it's more respectful. Yes, clap whenever. But we like to shout and holler. That's what I'm more looking forward to.
Yeah, I remember we also talked about the kiss as well, because whenever we go to weddings, we always look at the couple always try to judge, like, are the couple really in love? Is this really what they want to be doing? And you can always tell. Like, I'm not gonna mention names. We've been to different weddings, and sometimes you look at the kiss, like Blandina said before. You look at the kiss, and you're like, is it a passionate kiss? Does this person really mean it, or are they like, it's okay? I was pressured into the wedding, so always look forward to that. And also little things as well, like whether they hold hands or they show affection,
how they look at each other.
Like, I remember there was one wedding we went to, and I, like, to be honest, I thought the vibe was off. I was like, these two, sorry, I don't think you two should be together. I don't think you really wanted to get married. I felt like you were pressured by your family, and you can tell, you can tell in the interaction, like, it's off. There's no chemistry. You don't lock eyes. Little things like that. So I always look for like those little nuances to see, like, are they really in love? Is this really what they want to do? Rather than being pressured by outside sources to do this. So that's one thing. Am I preparing for the wedding ceremony and marriage life? I'd say, first of all, get myself together for one. Like, I think if you're gonna get married to somebody, the most important thing is that you're able to master yourself and you understand yourself first. Because what I think, from my observation, is what a lot of people do is they get together, but they haven't learned to understand themselves. So it turns out to be a relationship where you've not learned to be independent, you've not learned to be happy by yourself, but you merge with somebody else who hasn't done the same. So you develop this relationship where you're codependent, where you're totally relying on each other. So you're relying on one person to make you feel good. You're relying on one person to meet all your emotional needs, and you haven't learned to do that for yourself. And though that may seem lovey-dovey and be like, we lean on each other, that's the most unhealthy thing in the world, because it's destructive. You gotta learn to be happy on your own first. So that's one thing. Learn to be happy on my own, understand myself. Another thing as well, also build my vision, what I want for my life. I personally don't think that, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that you should be thinking about marriage, as a man anyway, if you haven't got yourself a vision, you're not trying to build something. If you haven't got that, then like you've got no business bringing somebody else into that, like, because you're supposed to be the leader as the man. But if you have no vision, where are you taking it? So it doesn't make sense. So there's that. Of course, trying to build a relationship with God, that's one thing as well. I think God's important. So I would say those are predominantly the main things that I'm building on to get to marriage.
What am I doing? I like my own company. So like learning how to be completely a whole, so that when someone comes in, it's like, okay, because I know a few females will be in relationships because they don't know how to be on their own, or like they don't like their own company. And I'm still learning how to just be happy on my own. And then if someone comes in, they come in because I want them to, because I know how to treat myself. So why would I invite someone in that treats me less than how I treat myself? Facts. So that sort of thing. That's how I'm learning. And then whoever comes in, they come in with their own whole person. So we're both just two wholes together, living our lives together, but we still go off and do our own thing. Yeah. Advice to the youth: be happy on your own, learn yourself, and do things that you want to do. What makes you happy? Create your own vision, like where you want to go, what kind of legacy you want to lead, and then look for someone and get your own money so you're financially stable by yourself before you invite anyone in.
Yeah, I hear that. I'd also say, in regards to learning yourself, learn and understand your boundaries. So you got to intellectually know already before you start inviting people in what your boundaries are, and like what you will have and will not have. That's important. You got to know. And like you can be like, well, I'll know when I get that. No, you got to know intellectually, so that, because what happens is if you don't intellectually know, what happens is if you really, really like somebody, you can make compromises for them, and you can let red flags or things that are unacceptable slide because you're not consciously aware. It needs to be like a non-emotional decision. You know, as soon as I see this, I'm out. And that's healthy. Boundaries, you need to know what your boundaries are. 2, do not be pressured into it. You know, a lot of people are pressured, especially in African culture. When someone turns like maybe when they get to like the late 20s, 30s, or the whole family members are like, why isn't he married? Is it okay? Is he gay? That kind of thing. And I think, nah, man, don't be pressured into it. Because at the end of the day, everyone's excited for the wedding day. They're like, the big party. But after that, you have to live with this person. And everybody disappears when that happens. Right, so there's that. Like Brandy said, be whole on your own. And I think that's the biggest key. Learning to be whole by yourself. Right? Learning to be comfortable by yourself. Because that is what enables you to be able to walk away from difficult situations. If you're not whole by yourself, like we said before, you become one of those codependent people who relies on people. You leech on people. And because if you leech on people and you depend on them to meet your needs, you're less likely to walk away and leave when they do something crazy or when they mistreat you. Because to you always stay in hope that things may change. Even though they're abusive, you stay in hope that things may change because you're afraid of being by yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? So you've not learned to be by yourself, so you can't leave. So I'd say that. My advice for somebody who's trying to find love or marriage or whatever on social media is don't get attached, don't get invested until you actually meet them and you know what you're dealing with. Like, have you ever watched the show Catfish? You never watched Catfish, right? Basically, Catfish is based on all these people who like they meet these people online and they talk to them for ages. Some of them even send them money. They're like, my true love, right? And then they always struggle to meet them till these guys intervene and try and locate the person. And it always turns out to be somebody that they least expect. So like, it could be a guy who thinks he's speaking to a nice, fine woman who's in her mid-20s, fine. Only to find out it's an overweight man who lives in his basement, his parents' basement. It's always something way off.
But it's their best friend pretending to.
Sometimes it is, yeah. Exactly. So it's a madness. So you don't know who you're dealing with. So I'd say it's always best to try meet them. So like, don't get too attached. Yes, build the bond, whatever, but then try meet them outside of that.
Yeah.
And really gauge what this person's about. Try get it to the point where it's not just online, but we meet and then we actually build the connection in person. Because it's very different to speak to somebody online and then interact with them in person.
Yeah. I think that's the problem with our generation though. You can talk to someone for hours by texting, but then you meet them in real life and it's awkward. I always think, why is that?
Exactly.
It's because you have a screen to hide behind. You can ask your friends on your phone, what should I say to this?
Exactly.
But in person, you can't converse.
Exactly. There's no spontaneity. Yeah. It's different, man. You can read people's energy when you're in
face to face. Yeah.
It's well different. Yeah.
So then I feel like Instagram's like a big dating site as well, because that's how I met a lot of my friends, like that I've just made friends with. But you can just turn that into someone I'm trying to get to know, and then you meet them off Instagram. Yeah,
but then at the same time as well, it also brings temptation to having more options and always comparing what you have. So it's a way, how do I verbalize this? It's like you can have someone who's really like, you're like, they're kind of cool, they're nice, and then you go on there and then you're like, this person has a Lamborghini and they're doing well for themselves, and then you're with your person who's on the coast who's still building. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and this person over here who's got his stuff together is showing you attention. It's like, So I think you gotta use it with wisdom. So you can't get caught up comparing. Okay, the steps I would advise for somebody who's trying to choose a life partner. One, like we said before, learn to be happy by yourself. If you're miserable by yourself, don't bother. You fix that first. 2, date them, but don't get physical when you're dating them until you really know what you're getting yourself into. So screen them. So look at, are you compatible spiritually? Are your life visions in match? Like, are you both looking to go in the same direction? You can't have somebody who wants to play when you want to work. and you want to work when they want to play, it doesn't work. So there's that.
Finances as well. That's important. You getting your finances in order. This person getting their finances in order. Don't rely on their finances.
There
Make sure
you
you
go.
have your own.
Have your own WAP, as they say.
Your own.
Monies. Yeah. And do you enjoy this person's company? That's a big one.
They stimulate your mind. It's not just we talk about physical things, blah blah. Can you actually have a conversation about anything? It's not just we always just talk about this because we're both into politics, so we're always talking about politics.
Yeah.
Do you talk about animals, the world, where you want to travel, your past, your present, your future?
That's true, that because there's some people you can speak with, and it's good for a season, but it's only good because you're in that specific season at that time.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, there's some people who, like I'm at church, for example. Like, I can have a great time with them in church, but that's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
Like, the conversations in church, that's it. I can't talk to you about anything else because that's just the context that the relationship is in. It's kind of like how you work. You know, when you work at your place, and then everyone's like, and then when you leave the job, everyone's like, we should stay in touch. But in your mind, you're like, no, we shouldn't, because the relationship stays in the context of work. That's it.
Yeah.
After work, there's nothing to talk about. So.
I've heard of chinkhoswe, but only because I was of the edits that I was doing, but I don't know what that is. Chinkhoswe? Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah, actually, it did. Because I've been to a couple, and a bit maybe I don't know if it's the wedding or the party, the bridal party, and it made me really angry because I didn't understand it at the time.
Oh,
Yeah, right. So what do you call it? So I understand in Malawian culture, like when you go to parties or whatever, people throw money at the bride to be, and then you have people who pick up the money. So I remember someone asked me to pick up the money, and I didn't understand. So it made me so angry. I was like, "What the hell? Why am I picking up money for these people?" Because I'll be like next to them, they'll be like, throwing the money, and then the money will go all over the floor. Now, because bear in mind, I've been raised in the British culture. To me, I thought, I'm begging and picking up after people, and I was thinking, that's not on. But when I looked at it from the other perspective, nobody else saw anything wrong with it. They're like, "Josh, why are you upset?" And I was like, "You guys are throwing money and then picking it up off the floor." So I think that's a culture. That's one cultural thing where you throw money. Like, when I understood it from their perspective, I was like, "Oh, okay, this is normal." But to me, it wasn't. So that's one culture.
I think it's the fact that you had to pick up
Yeah,
on
exactly.
your own.
Oh, yeah, true, yeah. Because on the day as well, there's supposed to be somebody who was doing it, and I was filling in randomly. So, yeah, so that's one thing I picked up on.
And I think the fact it was busy as well.
Yeah, it was.
So you had to get through people.
Yeah, and it was so annoying. Like, I get people having a good time and everything, but I remember what happened was there were loads of people with money, and I had the basket thing, and I was close to them, and I thought you could just put it in the basket, but they were like, and I was just like, and then the cameraman was recording, so I had to pretend I was happy. I was like, with the camera, I didn't want to ruin the video, so. Yeah, that's one thing.
There's what Marimbo did, where you say a blessing and then you throw some money. Like,
that was really good.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
I don't know.
Yeah, we bless you for the future of your kids. Yeah, for being a blessing to us. Yeah, for abundance. Yeah, all that kind of.
That's good. But I don't know if it's Malawi. I think it's more of an African thing. You know how you have your wedding ceremony, and then afterwards everyone gets changed. And it's pretty much kind of like what you were referencing. And also when you sing the traditional songs as well, I like that. Like at the Malawian weddings I've been to, there's been one random person to stand up and they start singing Chichewa, and then everybody joins in and they're like, hi. I like that.
Yeah. I think a mixture. I think because we've just known the Western way of doing things is what we know, but definitely bringing the Chichewa singing and like different outfits and
of course, 100%. Yeah. I think still I still want to touch on my traditions and everything.
Oh yeah.
Like I like the idea of the party and everything. I enjoy that. So yeah, combination of the two. Nice scriptured little ceremony at the beginning. Maybe a bit of dancing. Maybe someone will sing something nice, and then at the end we turn up.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. So.
we've not had any advice about Malawian traditional practices.
Yeah, the same. No advice has been
advice.
given in regards to Malawian traditional practices. Marriage is good if it's with the right person, the right person for you. Marriage is what happens after the wedding. I remember that.
Yeah.
That's good. Marriage is a lifestyle.
Marriage
You don't
is
escape that one.
the life of it.
Exactly true. What else? Any comments?
I don't think, people are like, oh, there's always arguments when you get married. I think why?
Exactly.
Why do we need to do that? It's like how us, me, you, and mum don't argue. We can just tell each other, okay, you're annoying me, be quiet now.
It's true.
But we know not to get offended.
Exactly.
So if we don't have that in our family life, who we've been with since birth, why would someone else's child come in and now we're starting to argue?
See that? I hear that. Like, I feel like I get it. Like, when you start a new relationship, of course, there can be a couple of disputes at the beginning, but that's what happens when you're ironing out each other's differences and you're trying to learn to operate with each other. But I don't think there should be arguments all the time. Like, people tell you like, oh, we argue all the time, and I'm like, why? Why are you arguing all the time? Like, at the beginning, I get it. Like, if there's combat a lot, I get it. But then it should like gradually die down.
Yeah.
Exactly, because you learn how each other work.
I feel like, but should that happen in your marriage though, or while you're dating?
I'll say more so when you're dating. When you're married, you should be like, okay, cool.
We're learning how to live together.
Exactly, true.
But
Like, one of my friends said it best. It's kind of like a sleepover that never ends. You know how funny that is? Oh, it's you again. It's there again. It's a leave.
Till death do us part.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a bit mad.
Yeah.
But a sleepover that never ends. That's just brilliant, isn't it? But yeah, if you select a good person, same values, or compatible values, it makes your life so much easier.
Yeah.
Marriage to the wrong person's a headache.
Yep.
And I've not even been in that situation, and I know. Looking up.
Headache.
Yeah, headache.
I think it is good to teach the younger generation about Malawian culture and weddings, because you need to know your roots and where you come from. I think that's why it's good for us to do this, because we get more understanding, having been brought up here, about our roots and what the culture is. So if we wanted to, we could do it that way, because it's our choice, because we know about it. Yeah,
I agree, but I think it's not just for like Malawi. I think that's across the board, like across the board, like all black people. I think it's important to know your history, where you come from, what makes you, your identity. That's important, because I feel like maybe a lot of this generation you don't know. You're like, I don't know. Like, you're like, I'm British, but you don't, you're not in touch with maybe like your Nigerian side or your Ghanaian side. So I think it's important to know your history.